Hi, everybody. We're getting a few people connecting, popping on as we go. So as usual, just let everyone get situated there. First beer, if anyone's going to start out with us, we're going to be talking about is Edge Runner today. So that's our first one through the box there. I think we got some of the starting people just joined on there as well. So as always, thank you very much to people for joining us. I'm sure people will keep coming in as we go. But my name's James. I'm the export manager at Thornbridge. I'm here with Russell, our taproom manager, Charlotte, our social media coordinator, and Alex, the head brewer over at Full Circle, who has very graciously joined us this evening. And yeah, very nice as always to see everyone there too. So as usual, we'll be working our way through talking about the different beers and everything as well. Please pop stuff in the chat. Always interested to see what people think of the beers. Ask any questions to us as we're going through. Ask any questions to Alex. Just pop them in there. We'll make sure to answer everything. And yeah, evening to you there as well, Colin, talking of the chat. So please keep popping them in. Firstly, as we're going to start out nice and light, just to mention, as always, don't have to we'll talk through every single beer this evening, all 5 of the different ones you have in the box. Please don't feel obliged to try and drink along at the same speed we talk about them. It'll just be nice for us to show them off and, discuss each one as well as we go here too. So I mentioned first one we're going to crack into. Don't want anyone getting thirsty. This is Edge Runner, our Keller Pills. So Alex is joining us tonight to chat with us about Full Circle generally, about the Keller Pills and everything else as well. But Alex, if you don't mind, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself there, and how you came to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Alex, everyone. So I joined Full Circle 5 years ago, and we've just officially had our 4th birthday. So I kind of joined before we had a name, a location, or anything like that. Yeah, 4 years ago, Full Circle officially launched. We've got a brewery in Newcastle, a 30 hectolitre 4-vessel brew house, tap room just next to the river. It's a lovely spot to go to. Range of core beers, and try and do 2 or 3 seasonal beers every month, ranging from lagers, IPAs, stouts, less of the imperial stouts at the moment, but lots of hazy stuff as well, and some West Coast beers. And yeah, from my point of view, this is pretty much my first role in the brewing industry. Retrained about 6 years ago. Was very lucky to be given the opportunity to do this. It's great to be able to actually brew beers that I want to drink, which is I think what everybody wants to do. It was really nice to get an opportunity to do this Keller beer as well. Last year we did a Oktoberfest collab at our place, which I think I joined you on a similar club for last year, and we had that one. And this is a kind of lovely, much lighter version of the beer, and it's something that this is actually the first time I've drank it. Very impressed with it.
Oh, good. And us too, of course, as well. So yeah, thank you for the intro and everything else there as well. What did you retrain from, if you don't mind me asking? What was your background before?
I ran a small business with my dad, where we just kind of did office admin, but he passed away, so it gave me an opportunity to kind of do something that I really wanted to do. So I trained at a place called Brew Lab in Sunderland in the northeast. Then spent 6 months going around working for breweries like Box Social, which just became Alpha Delta North for a while, and then just got this opportunity and just grasped it.
Brilliant. Oh, good. Well, yeah, I mean, your beers, of course, we pour every year at Peakender, and we always try and get hold of as well whenever we can. So we did the big tasting at Peakender previously, and it's always been very popular. So
That's great.
yeah, no, very fantastic beers. I know everyone on the chat will have tried them out and about as well too. So, and then so this one, you talked with Dom, Rob, the whole brewing team that we have. How did you find this one doing the sort of we talked about home and away collabs and things like that, but did you enjoy working with the guys?
Yeah, I mean, you have access to some wonderful ingredients, and some leaf German hops as well, which was something that we've not really been given the option to get hold of before. It's kind of such a light beer as well. It's a lovely color and very, very crisp. So you guys have got a lot of experience with this style of beer. And it's exactly what you want it to be. It's got a lovely level of carbonation in there, a very white, delicate head on it, and very crisp. And I mean, I could drink this all year round, but it's probably perfect for the summer as well. This is the kind of thing I'd love to drink.
Yeah, I'd agree as well. Like you say, I mean, everything you said there, that like really nice, like white foam right on the top, a little tiny haze to it as well, but that bitter bite right at the finish, I think, just makes it for me, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been pretty much, I believe we've sold out almost already. It's been very popular. I know you've very nicely had some down, well, up at your guys' place. And otherwise, it's pretty much just gone to beer club and a couple of other places, and that's about it. So it's yeah, it's been very swift out the door. We've had lots of people getting very excited for it, quick repeat buys as well. So yeah, really nice to team up and make something like this as well together. We tried to Edge Runner is like a big millstone in the peaks as well. So we tried, of course, to use your naming technique there as well.
Yeah, it works really well.
Good. Yeah, we're always a bit nervous naming them, especially you have that very specific, repeater, looper, that sort of thing. So it was yeah, nice to do it, and I think kind of tie in with that as well.
Yeah, I find naming beers the hardest thing.
Yes, yeah,
we're like half an hour before your deadline, and you have no idea what's going to be.
Especially with it must be really good at first with you. I was thinking about this earlier because of course we have the same thing with naming beers too. But at first, with doing all of your names, with that sort of theme, it must be quite handy. And then,
yeah, I mean, we've got a bank of names for any new core beers that we add, and then
okay.
Outside of core beers, we just have free reign.
Yeah.
Quite often, unfortunately, just an in joke that nobody else gets, or some of our favorite music, films, places we've been to, that kind of thing. But we do have a couple more circle themed beer names up our sleeves that we're saving for special occasions.
I'm pretty intrigued actually because I was wondering, I'm like, how do they go from here? So I'm excited to see them. Have you got any other? I know you mentioned those core beers, but have you got any other seasonals or anything coming up? Anything to
so we've
about?
just released our birthday beers for this year, so our fourth birthday.
Yeah.
In there we have Duper, which is our double version of our Looper IPA.
Nice.
That always goes down really well. We've also got a Moose, which is a 8.3% imperial brown ale with a load of maple syrup in.
Nice.
And we've stuck some of that in barrels for next year. So that's gone into bourbon barrels, some rum barrels, and also some maple syrup barrels as well. So we'll see how that comes out. And alongside that, we did a New Zealand pale called Quarter Nelson, which is super drinkable, full of Nelson Sauvin. Really nice.
It's good. That sounds very good. Anything maple syrup aged, certainly I've got to try.
Yeah, I think it's a maple barrel that was then used for bourbon, and then they kind of just sell them on from then.
Brilliant. That sounds good to me. So yeah, one to look out for sure. That's nice. Have you I know it's not festival season now, it's but are you out and about anywhere that we can find you? Going to any events, doing any tastings, or just on the road anywhere?
As far as I'm aware, not before Christmas. We've got some big plans for next year and hopefully try and show up at a lot of festivals. But we're a relatively small team. And with it being our kind of birthday party last weekend, we've kind of put a lot of energy into that. But apart from local kind of Christmas markets and stuff, but big festivals wise, hopefully next year we've got a lot lined up. Looking forward to them.
Brilliant. Good. Well, looking forward to seeing you guys out and about as well. You've got the Paul name, so it's a big millstone, not too far from the brewery at Derbyshire Way. And because, of course, as we mentioned there, with the naming from Full Circle is often circular naming. It's repeater, looper. So we wanted to kind of tie in with that as well. So we were, to be honest, again, you mentioned names are difficult. We were looking at big circles in the Peak District, big circles in Derbyshire, trying to have something near us that fitted in with the theme as well. So yeah, we ended up with Edge Runner. Like, that sounds perfect. I believe it was also a TV series or a movie or something that got fairly badly reviewed from what I saw from Googling it as well. So I felt we're fairly safe staying away from that. But yeah, it worked nicely, I think, with the theme too. So then we had, of course, with our designs, Bex had gone with, again, the circular theme too. So had started working on that with the can logo, with the can on there itself. So if you have a look at that too, hopefully it's a little bit kind of vintage. It's got that nice, those loops coming through it all the way too. And we thought it just, yeah, all worked very nicely.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Cheers. How have you enjoyed it, Russell? What are you thinking?
Yeah, great. Sorry, I was just checking out the can there. Very like Art Deco, isn't it? But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
really good. We were unfortunate and we didn't have any in the tap room because, like you said, it sold out before we could get hold of any. But which sounds weird, but I know it goes everywhere else before it kind of comes to us sometimes. But we've got it on draft in keg format, and we've got it on now as well. So yeah, it's gone down really well. It's really weird. Like I don't know. I didn't know what to expect of it. It's not really my go-to beer, Keller Pale. So it's kind of like a pale lager, if that makes any sense. That's how I kind of see it. It's kind of got that kind of pale notes, but then it's really crisp like a lager. So yeah, enjoyed it. Good.
Yeah, cheers. And yeah, thank you, Alex. It's thanks for joining us to come on and talk through everything as well. I'm looking forward to, is that big plans in general alongside the events that you've got coming in for 2024?
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of expansion in the brewery, so it's just keeping hold of that as well, and dealing with growth pains. But yeah, all international festivals next year.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to.
Good. Yeah, I've seen you're out in Denmark, I think I saw recently, or your beers at least, and stuff like that. So.
A couple of the guys were in Rotterdam over the weekend. Really enjoy that. So lots of places to visit.
Yeah, perfect. Well, as you say, the beer does certainly stand for itself, so I'm sure it's going to do well getting further afield too. So, but good fun doing the collaboration too, and so yeah, hopefully we'll keep seeing you around for things. It's I know normally some questions and things might pop up. Don't feel obliged, of course, to hang out if you've got things to do and see. But I appreciate you jumping on to talk us through the beer anyway. We have a few other beers in our box as well, just to work our way through, to chat about, and hopefully everyone has in front of them. But like I say, you don't need to drink them all, but this will give you a little bit of, when you're getting to it, cracking into these beers in your own time, relaxing, you'll have a bit of the story to them as well. So the next one we've got here, this is Chiron. So Chiron's our American Pale Ale. This one we've been brewing for a good number of years now, and really from a time where we saw a big boom in American Pale Ale. We were seeing this across the UK. Lots of places had this demand for it. Something where you've got that really nice kind of more robust malt base. It's a little sweeter. It brings that really good balance to it. So you get almost that kind of biscuitiness from the malt itself. On top of that, we've got a load of classic American hops as well. So you're getting that kind of piney, bitter grapefruit notes from it too. And again, the real plan behind Chiron, it was always just to have balance. It's supposed to be, we referred to it for a long time in our advertising and talking about it, was the brewer's beer. All of the brewers, when we talked to them, they'd come down to the tap room, 5 o'clock after they finished the shift, and they'd go straight for Chiron. So it's always had that kind of place in everyone's hearts at the brewery. And it's just continued as that beer for us as well. So a really nice one. I'm a big fan of Chiron. I always enjoy having Chiron, talking about Chiron, drinking Chiron, because it's been there a few years really only after I started. So one, like I say, that has a special sort of place there. If you hold it up, you get just that little slightly darker maybe than you get on something like Jaipur. And again, that brings that little sweetness in there too. Good white head. And then into that nice, more classic American sea hops that you'd expect from it. And so with this one, I mentioned, the style and things, the name originally, when we often take a lot of our inspiration for names from Thornbridge Hall. And there's a statue of Chiron at Thornbridge Hall. So Chiron was a centaur, a mythical centaur, of course, but he was the mentor of Achilles. So he taught Achilles, trained him in everything he knew. And he was also seen as being the very kind of the sensible, maybe virtuous centaur as well, where a lot of them could be very loutish. They'd all be just smashing, big, strong beers and falling over. Chiron would have been on the nice, sensible, steady beers, well-balanced and very, very drinkable too. So he seemed like a good name for what we were looking for. So we went for that. And as I say, it's been a really long-standing beer for us now. been sold everywhere we go into. It's been nice to move it into the small 330ml cans. And we wanted to share it as well. So yeah, this one particularly has been quite a fun one in the range over that time. How about you, Russell? This been a beer you've had a few times in the past?
Yeah, we tend to have it on the tap room quite a lot. It's a firm favourite with everyone. For me, it's my go-to if I've got to drive home or whatever instead of a Jaipur. So it's Cascade, Chinook, Amarillo, isn't it? And there's something else I think, but yeah, they're kind of my favourite single hop series. So putting those all together, bish bash bosh, love it. And I'm glad you cleared up as well that it's Chiron, not Chiron, because it's a constant argument between me and my staff as well. So I'll take that back to them, let them know. But yeah, it's a belter. Yeah. We love it.
Good, and that's and one of those names, as with a lot of the names, of course, even Jaipur, Hypur, like we get a lot of different people pronouncing it many different ways. So as long as they're drinking it, really, that's always the most important thing.
No, exactly that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I love it. It's great.
Good I'd agree. And like you say, those classic American hops, I think, for you and I, when we were starting to drink craft beer many years ago and getting into it, those were the predominant ones before the Citras and Galaxies and Mosaic started to take over a bit too. So
yeah, those kind of West Coast, I think, classic but done really, really well. Yeah, it's just like a really good go-to. Like you said before, obviously all your other stuff came in, which is still, just as good. But it's nice to head back to kind of heritage, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. And talking of almost the complete opposite, you've been on the Avena, the oat shake IPA, I believe you've been enjoying as well.
Yeah, so I like a story as well. So I was lucky enough to go to Prague recently, and then when I came back, which by the way, if anyone's going to Prague on here and they want recommendations, hit James Buchanan up, because I asked him for a few recommendations, and every single one of them he gave me was a belter. It's such a great place to go. But yeah, I had a couple of beers while I was out there on a couple of the days. So when I came back, I said, right, I'm going to kind of take a month out with my other half. And we said, let's just chill out and just kind of get sort of ready for Christmas. And then the day I got back into work, I got home and I said, you want to try this Avena that we've got in at work? It's incredible. And she said, well, you haven't tried it yet, have you? Because we're off the beer. And I suddenly realised that I got myself into a lot of trouble, and she kind of realised that I'd had a pint of it already. So that's gone out the window. Michael, who is one of our brewers, I think this is his recipe, isn't it? It's his beer that he's come up with. I know he was really passionate about it, so he came to the tap and he told me all about it. And I was like, an oat shake IPA. It's like it's giving me visions of like that pastry sauerkraut that people do. I'm just like, I'm not about it. I'm not into it. I'm just like, oh my God, it's such a gimmick. And then I tried it on cask and I fell in love with it. And now it's kind of a go-to starter beer for me. So yeah, 4.9%, loads of obviously oats in it with some lactose, gives it a real creamy finish, and then obviously a big belter citra hop as well. Yeah, I think it's really, really good. It's done really, really well, really sensible. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. And like you say, it's nice to have the ones where whenever we're sort of putting in our annual plans of beers and things we're going to be doing, we want to be getting, as many of the brewers involved as possible. And when ones like Alex come up and say, oh, we've got these great ideas to do, we want to make this. I've been thinking about how best to brew and create this one. And when the results speak for themselves at the end, of course, but it's nice to have that real collaboration within the brewery too, I think.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of opportunity and scope to kind of keep going further, and the other brewers get incentivized, I think, as well, because it almost becomes a bit competitive as well. Kind of seeing the sales come in and seeing the feedback come off it as well on all the different kind of apps and different forums you can do. But I made sure that I spoke to Ben, one of our head brewers, and said like feedback to Michael, like it's so good, and it's gone down so well. We had a couple of kegs and we sold them for a Saturday. It just gone. So yeah. I mean, there's none left in the tap room anymore, unfortunately, but I think there's a bit available online, maybe, but great beer.
Yeah, no, it went straight out the door. Michael, of course, I meant instead of Alex, I'm getting distracted thinking about our Alex we have on here. But yeah, this one has been really popular, can and keg as well. It's just flown out, as you say. And whenever you put oat shake IPA, there's always the slight worry. You don't want that very like uber craft, a little over the top, but this one still fantastically imbalanced. That haze is there, the softness, the drinkability, plus the big tropical notes as well. So
yeah, that's it. It's all that sweetness, and then with the citra hop as well. It's just it's a really well-rounded beer, I find. So yeah.
And especially going from talking about how much we love Chiron to something like that as well, it shows, yeah, we can certainly enjoy all types, I think, there as well.
Yeah.
And some good feedback as well there. Paul loves the aroma as soon as you crack the can, and then Paul loving Avena. Stumpy tried it on cask in the Colmore, absolute banger. So glad it's been getting out and about and doing nicely there too. So yeah, it's been good fun to brew those and always have the seasonals and different beers coming in. Just to sort of mention as well, we talked about Full Circle getting everywhere. And going and attending lots of different things in the future and stuff like that. And we have 2 events coming up this week. For those of you, I've written them down in advance, so that's why I'm just looking down. I can't remember everything, unfortunately. We have the Fountain Inn in Leek on Friday, and we'll be in the Throttle's Nest in Congleton on Saturday. So if anyone is nearby, anyone able to make it out, please come and see us in there. And you'll be able to find us in all of these different spots as well. So yeah, we'll meet the brewers in both, tap takeovers in both. So pop in, say hello, hang out for a pint as well if anyone's close by there too. So obviously we're going to have lots of fun beers on as well. Nick, smells delicious, tastes even better. Yeah, it is. I mean, the aroma itself, just you give it a bit of a swirl round, pop your nose in. I mean, you don't even have to. You can hold it a bit further away, and you still start to get all that big aroma from it as well. So yeah, this has been a real winner, I think. It's nice to do through the styles from a Keller Pils, American Pale Ale. Now we've got an Oatshake IPA with lactose. So we've got, of course, a couple of different ones come up as well there too. Enigma, you've got Australia, we've got Australian, we've got what else have we got in there? We've got German, we've got and American. So it is the full range of different hops in there, which gives us something really nice to kind of play with as well. And gives us that range of flavor in there too, when you can really get to grips with it there. So then talking of hops, we have actually the Quiet Storm. So the Quiet Storm series continues. Again, looking for our favorites. We actually went all the way back to one of the first hops we ever used originally back at Thornbridge back in 2005. One of the hops probably over the years we've used the most of, but you just don't really see it all that often, the Ahtanum. And it's a core hop in Jaipur, which is why we've used it so much and so often over the years. And it's been a long, long time in production as well now. So it's named for the area where they were creating a lot of their hops originally. It's one of the kind of forefathers of these modern American hops that come in, the ones that give you that pine, that grapefruit. It works so well on both sides, though, as being a bittering and an aroma hop as well. And that's why it lends itself really nicely to being able to be used as a single hop. So following on from things like the Chinook, the Cascade, this one certainly I would say at least isn't quite as well known as any of those. However, I think it gives us something to be able to use and a bit different too. So you see it in some big beers as their kind of base, I believe at least. And for us, again, this really sort of underpins Jaipur. I think with it's got those 6 hops in there. This one for me is the one that brings it all together nicely, and so it's nice to really showcase it and give people a chance, hopefully, to try it as well. So let me know what you think, as always, in the chat there too. What did you reckon, Russell?
I mean, it's in Jaipur. Love it. I'm always going to say that. Yeah, I think it's just really well rounded. It's not quite as bitter as the other ones. It's quite clean on the aftertaste. And I think maybe it's just not as well known because people struggle to pronounce it. I really struggle to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try, but yeah, I was really looking forward to coming out. Cascade, Chinook, like you say, have been a recent. Amarillo, they've always been my favourite. This is certainly up there as well. It's just really clean and quite subtle, but quite integral in Jaipur, like you say. So great one.
And thank you, Alex, there as well. So jumping in there too is Alex. Have you been using much Enigma over a Full Circle? Oops,
it's not something we've used much of, if I'm honest. but Australian hops are relatively expensive, so we don't use them very often.
No, that's a good reason for it. Yeah, they unfortunately so we do see that anything, and even the New Zealand ones particularly as well have been. You mentioned Nelson earlier, and that's certainly one that we see complaints about for the price at the minute. But I suppose popularity and maybe not being on the same level of growing as places in the States as well, and in terms of volume and things like that. Have you been brewing? Are there any? I know you probably get asked this all the time. Have you got any favorite hops? You know, we're talking about single hop beers and different hops and things like that.
We've actually recently brewed with Nectaron, which is another, I think, New Zealand hop. It's either New Zealand or Australia, but that's probably only just starting getting released last year or this year. So that's really exciting, really fruity. We're also doing kind of an English cask beer with Olicana, which is another relatively new but English hop, which is something that's really exciting. And some of the brew team went down to the hop harvest, and we're very excited by that one. So looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah, and they certainly, you know, they've come on a long way. We've been doing beers with Ernest and things like that as well. Not a long way, I suppose, but the flavor profile has changed recently in the English hops that we found.
It takes so long to develop hop varieties. It's like 10 to 15 years, so it just takes a while to catch up, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame, and of course where we are and the way they grow and things like that, it's difficult to compete with the glorious sunshine of some of those other places and the land they're in. But yeah, no, it's nice to see. I think it's certainly become a bit of a trend. Maybe cost is also helping, but using lots more English hops, you say Olicana and the other ones as well. Hopefully we will be at a point where we can use more of them and we see more of them being sought after and popular, like we are with malt, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the kind of the CO2 that's used to make English hops makes it less efficient to even buy them from England. So right. You have less of a carbon footprint if you actually buy them from America, because their processing is so efficient over there, which is insane. So we've got a lot of catching up to do, and hopefully we'll be a little bit more efficient soon.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that. It's so that's interesting.
It's insane, isn't it? It's just better carbon footprint to buy from America.
Yeah, wow. That's it blows your mind a bit, but I suppose they're just on another level for scale, I think, more than anything. So it's wow. But hopefully, as you say, we can improve it here and make sure it's all easier to do as well. So yeah, how did you find the Ahtanum? Had you tried that one yet? I know we only sent him down to you this week.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's something that we use in one of our core beers as well. So we switched from Cascade to Ahtanum, and we found it a really nice kind of alternative. And I believe it's a more sustainable hop than Cascade as well. So again, lower carbon footprint on that, which is something that's becoming more and more important with hop growing and working out which varieties to grow. But it's a lovely hop, really nice.
Yeah, good. Oh, thanks. It's been nice, as you say, to have it as the core beer, but I don't remember seeing many Ahtanum single hops, I suppose, either. So no, it was quite fun we'd done all the other Jaipur hops really. So we thought we've got to put that in the Quiet Storm series as well. Yes. As we've got lots of it too. So that also helps.
Yeah.
But the last beer we've got there, I'll tell you in a sec. Just before we mentioned, of course, December and things that we have coming up. So, Charlotte, I think we went out, didn't we, with the list and everything for December's beer box?
Yes, yeah, that's gone out already. So yeah, everyone should have seen that, I think.
Perfect. Oh, thank you. And is there anything I've missed? Oh, Black Friday tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's all kicking off. Actually, at 1 minute past midnight.
Nice.
In the morning. So that's live tomorrow.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. We will be doing it. We've talked a lot about American hops and different things like that. So another nice American tradition, taking Black Friday and having big sales and everything. So yes, it'll be good to check out our online tomorrow. But yeah, thank you, Charlotte. Was there anything I've missed off mentioning as well?
Nothing immediate, I don't think. Obviously we've got a few hopefully exciting things coming in December offer wise, but that's all to come.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, so as always, look out for it in December. Have you got anything coming up, Russell, in the tap room? Any big bands or gigs or anything?
We've got the South with us next week. When I say the South, it is the South, not the beautiful South, but it is. I think it's a couple of the original members that make up a sort of tribute band, I think. And they're with us next Friday, but unfortunately that's sold out, or fortunately it's already sold out. We've sold 550 tickets for that. But the week after, we've got ABBA, which is kind of our Christmas party on the Thursday. I think it's the 7th. And there's still tickets available for that. So that will be a really, really exciting night. We did that last year and it was chaos. It was mental. And then we have got the week after a movie night where we are showing that classic Christmas film Die Hard in the tap room on a massive projector, where you can kind of come in and buy your headphones, so not everyone's got to listen to it. There's some guys locally that have got a pop-up cinema and they're coming in to do that. So yeah, it's all go. And then as soon as ABBA are out of the way, I've put a massive Christmas tree up. That's been ordered. It'll be here next week, but I have to wait for ABBA to get out of the way first. Otherwise, people will be trying to climb it whilst singing Mamma Mia. So yeah, that'll be it. And that's always a firm favourite with the staff, trying to decorate that as well. In fact, I've got staff returning from university and they've actually texted me, not asking me for shifts, not even knowing they've got shifts, just saying, do not put that tree up until we're back. So yeah, that's good. And we've always got like loads of weird original badges that we stick on the tree instead of baubles, as well as baubles. But obviously, some of the more exotic badges or the rarer badges we've got, they go kind of towards the top, so we can't get anyone kind of stealing them. But yeah, all that going on over Christmas in the tap room. If anyone's local, we are closed Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Otherwise, we're relatively open as normal, to be honest.
Real perfect. And obviously you do every occasion there's big decorations in the tap room, but do you do it at home as well? Is all your Christmas decorations up there? Is everything ready early, or do you wait strictly for a date?
Well, so I've got a little boy, so I've got to really calm him down. So if I had it my way, it'd be the week before Christmas Day and I'd start putting it up there. But his mum's a bit different, so she kind of goes on the 1st of December and she just goes bonkers, and then she'll have it out till like March as well. There's still pumpkins outside the door now. It's ridiculous. It's just a whole cycle of like Easter and then Halloween and then Christmas, and then we get back around to Easter. So yeah, 1st of December is kind of probably the stickler I put on for it, and I probably won't go and get the tree till the week after as well, for the house anyway.
Yeah, we're similar. We'll get the tree out then as well. We moved into a house a year ago and the previous people went all out. They were the most decorated house in the street. They did. And we are the sort of Grinch who moved in. And so haven't had all of that. We can't live up to it. So it's, yeah, we'll see this year. Maybe we'll do a little more, but.
Oh, no way. Yeah. I suppose it's big shoes to fill that, you know.
Yes. Yeah. A bit awkward, but if we don't get booed on the street, we'll be all right. I think. We've got beer to hopefully appease people if they're too mad about it.
Exactly. I'm sure you can easily make friends with the beer that you've got.
That helps.
Yeah.
And then Tom, there you've put Tom's dad's mind at ease. Now he knows the opening time. So yeah, you do.
Yeah, I've seen Tom and Co and family a few times in the last couple of months. It's always great to see, and we're always having a chat. I think the last time I saw Tom, he was on his way. He's a Wolves supporter, and I don't think he'll mind me telling anyone. And the following day, he was travelling from the area of Sheffield all the way back to Birmingham to come back the following day to watch Wolverhampton versus Sheffield United. Crazy sort of trip. And he said, quote, "I'm going because Sheffield United are awful and we've got a chance of getting something." And I'm pretty sure, Tom, and I nearly messaged you saying, you know, first win of the season for Sheffield United. And I bet that was such a great trip for you, you know, especially back on the train as well that night. So don't think that passed me by. It didn't. But I'm a Southampton fan. So, you know, we're in the Mickey Mouse League. So I can't say a lot.
Well, you've been holding on to that one, Russell. I like that.
Oh, do you know what? I've literally been rubbing my hands for tonight, just thinking, I hope he's on tonight. And it rained all day. Yeah, I like that, Tom. Nice one. Yeah. Insult to injury.
Oh dear. And then Stumpy, can't wait to get into the advent calendar. No, it's yeah, thank you to everyone who picked up advent calendars from us. The team, the elves as they are not calling themselves, we've been told, are working very hard in the packing unit, getting everyone's advent calendars ready as well. So yeah, I'm sure you'll all enjoy them. We've been working very hard on them this year, as every year. But yeah, and as we get into, I suppose, that kind of darker weather at this time of year, Russell, you've been, on the Between the Sheets. Some of you maybe came up to Peekender, would have drank this one with us at the time when we did our sneak peek, the first time we ever actually poured it and talked about it anywhere. But yeah, Russell, please tell us a little bit about Between the Sheets.
Yeah, so we kind of did it as a special beer on a tasting at Peekender. And then we had a few bottles left over from that, and we sold them. And then we had customers coming back asking us, and we kept it back. It's been really, really well received from the few customers that managed to get hold of some. But a barrel-aged beer, 8.3%, so not as hard-hitting as some of our Necessary Evils and our Pashimama and the Bratchias and things like that. But it's named Between the Sheets, I think, because it was an American cocktail that was rum and cognac-based. I think that's right. And what we've done is stick a stout that is similar to St. Petersburg, if not the same, into barrels, and then half it's gone into rum barrels, half it's gone into cognac barrels, and then we brought it back together later on down the line to create kind of this dark beer, I suppose. And yeah, it's quite sweet on the nose with that kind of rum finish, I suppose, quite fruity. But yeah, it's not sort of as in your face as those Necessary Evils sometimes are, and it's a good sort of end of night beer after dinner beer. I'd say it is.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. It's yeah, certainly not there. And for those who are very suspicious, we actually created the plans for this one and even the labels before the duty changes. So maybe we got a little bit lucky there, but it wasn't an intended lower ABV beer. The brewers from the off had worked on this one at the 8.3 to do that sort of double stout, as you say, like the St. Petersburg, and then aged in both barrels for 9 months in all as well. So Charlotte's actually put a blog up on the website, and you can find it on our social medias and things like that as well too, from Ben as well, with a bit about the beer. But yeah, it's been a great hit already so far. I think getting out is great. They love doing those barrel aged beers. It just gives such a distinct difference, I think, to the beers as well when they do them. The Kern really likes Necessary Evils, doesn't do the same for maybe that. It is, a good extra few % on there as well. So if you're into that really beefy, like, solid one, it might be a bit more on there. Something you'll be doing at the brewery tap room next year instead of Peekender. Nothing planned at the moment, to be honest with you. It's been cancelled, of course. Well, it's in hibernation. We're hopeful to look at 2025. We're certainly not saying gone forever, but yeah, unfortunately, it will be missing next year. Status of Necessary Evil. Yeah, the new beer duty world is, unfortunately, it's a pain. We'd like to do more of the big imperial stouts and beers like Necessary Evil again. And we will, we know that people want them, people enjoy them. We will work on those as well. It'll be, we have some, we've been discussing some plans this week to get in some new barrels to be able to look at doing some different ones for it too. So keep an eye out for that one, please, as we go. Alex, have you got any sort of barrel aged stuff? I know you mentioned about the one that you had there with the bourbon maple casks as well, but is there anything to look out for you've got nestled away other than that one?
We've just released 2 different beers. We've got we did an Imperial Ginger Parkin Stout last year, kind of 13%, and that's been in some rum barrels. So I think we've got a couple of bottles left of that on our web shop, and then we've got some Imperial Brown Ale in bourbon barrels as well, which has just been released. So we tend to do once a year kind of release. So probably down to the kind of last 10-15 bottles on that, so not much left, but next ones will be about this time next year as well.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, that's yeah, is that something you've done the whole time at Full Circle as well, the different barrel aged?
It's something that we would like to do more often. We struggle with space, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
So we tend to have no more than about 6 barrels on the go at the time.
Got it.
But we've done a couple in the past, and like I say, the ones that we did were just released a couple of weeks ago. And then this time next year, hopefully, we'll have the brown ale in a couple of different barrels, and probably look to put an imperial stout in the new year and see where that goes as well.
Nice. Oh, good. Well, yeah, our brewers, they start with the sort of sours and in the barrels. Well, start with the big stouts and then sours, and then have gone back round to these big stouts as well. And they love, working in there and talking about the way that it just really emphasizes those different notes in the beers that you wouldn't pick up anywhere else. And it's become such a passion project for our guys, just going through, tasting them, testing them, getting them ready when they're ready, and packaging and everything else as well. Really, from start to finish of that beer, it's great to see how excited they are about it. So, and I'm sure, of course, it's the same with yourselves there at Full Circle too.
Yeah, there's so many interesting barrels available. Whether you're talking about wine, spirits, and triple sec is something that we're always looking for to find the right beer to put in. And even there's a couple of rogue ones like Tabasco barrels and stuff like that. We're not quite sure
Nice
what
rogue.
about, but it's always in the back of our minds. If we have a beer that would suit a Tabasco barrel, we're gonna try it.
Nice. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, actually. I like your description of rogue, because that's it's a good way to go for it.
Interesting one. It might be a really bad idea, but if you just do it barrels, it's what's the worst that can happen.
Yeah, very true, very true. Well, I'm intrigued to keep an eye out for those as well. And then Kern as well, prepared to make you up. Thank you very much, Kern. It's yeah, we will keep you updated on those. Like I say, we've been talking about new plans and things like that as well coming through. So definitely, there's always, we love barrel aging beer. We love doing those. So yeah, please keep an eye, and we'll keep mentioning them as we go forwards. But that takes us through all the beers this evening. Alex, was there anything else again to look out for, or you wanted to mention to everyone while we're on here about?
Yeah, we should have some Black Friday deals going live.
Okay.
This afternoon or tomorrow, in the next couple of days or something like that. So we should have our birthday beers and our Cola Quirkers barrel aged beers on there as well. So if anybody's interested, please have a look at that. But it's just lovely to be involved with this again. So thank you very much.
No, mate, thank you again for taking the time, and actually can just ordered a couple more of those as well. So yeah, already off to a good start too. I hope Black Friday goes well for you, and hopefully we'll see you in person soon enough and out and about elsewhere. But yeah, thank you for joining us again. Thank you to everyone for coming on and joining us to talk through the beers. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Charlotte. And yeah, we'll see everyone again next month. We'll be confirming the times as usual. Enjoy the rest of the November box. Enjoy the December box when it turns up, and hopefully see everyone very soon as well. So thank you, guys. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evenings.